Welcome to Stories with Erin. I just came up with this idea to have story time with Erin, as I have a lot of stories in my mind that I wanted to share with y'all, with anyone who would like to listen. I think they're kind of fun, and oftentimes they show the glory of God, just in our lived moments of life here. So I guess I'll just start with a story from yesterday. Yesterday I went to the grotto in West Bend, Iowa. I believe it's like the Grotto of the Redemption, right? And it's actually quite cool. There's a lot of rocks from all around the world, really. There was a priest who got pretty sick. He had double pneumonia before penicillin was a thing. And he essentially told Mary, if you heal me, I will build you a grotto. So he built a huge grotto. He wanted to just build like a grotto for Mary, but then he went and built the Garden of Eden, as well as the Ten Commandments grotto, and the family's home, the family of Nazareth, Mary, Jesus, and Joseph, right? It was just this really cool, beautiful thing, all built out of rocks and cement, right? It took years and years to build. He built it in about 90 years. And so yesterday morning I went to Mass, and after Mass I saw one of my friends. So I texted her after Mass and said, hey, what are you doing today? And she responded with, oh, I'm going to the grotto with some friends. We're doing a little road trip. Would you like to come? And I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. Where are you going? When will you get back? And she said, the grotto in Iowa. We'll get back tonight, so it'll just be a day trip. I was like, well, I actually have the full day free today, so that would be awesome. I would love to join you guys for this trip. So I ended up going with them spontaneously to Iowa, spent the whole day there. It's about a 3-hour drive there, 3-hour drive back, and then we spent maybe 3 hours there. And we ended up joining part of a tour group, and then, but we really only were there for a little bit of it. So we asked the tour guide if there were any more tours going soon, and he was like, oh, I'll just give you guys a tour right now. So then he gave us a kind of a private tour. Other people joined in just like we had done to their group. It was really nice. Then we kind of explored a little bit for a while, and then we went into kind of the museum portion, and we were looking at all these different rocks and the things from the priest who built the grotto. And this man walks in, and I started talking to him, and I could tell he kind of worked there. And he was like, oh, is this your first time here? And I said, yes. And he was like, oh, since it's your first time here, I want to give you something. And he reached into his pocket. I think I have it in my pocket. I also have car keys in my pocket. Oh, yes. He reached into his pocket, and he pulled out this rock. And he said, I'm one of the original builders from this grotto. In fact, the only one still alive. And since it's your first time here, here's a rock. And I said, oh, where is that one from? And he said, oh, it's just an extra one. We have extra rocks in case things break. I'm the guy who fixes them. I started building with Father when I was 6 years old. He said, boy, would you like to help? Here's a dustpan and a broom, and put me to work. And then ever since then I've been here working, right? And he's been there for about, 54 years, he said. And he has been when things break, he's the one who fixes them. He does maintenance on the grotto 24/7 for the last 54 years, right? So he's about 60, 61 years old, right? So that was really, really cool. Yeah, that rock. Okay, so anyway, I'm talking to him, and then I'm like, well, this is my group of friends. We came from South Dakota today. And he was like, oh, is it their first time too? And he gives them a rock, right? And then we start talking about all the different rocks. One of my friends is really, really into rocks. So she was like, oh, do you know how I might be able to get a hold of one of those desert roses? The rock, the desert rose. I just was so amazed by them. And she really was. The whole time she was like, man, that desert rose rock was so cool. It looks just like a rose, but in rock form, right? And well, the man was like, oh, yeah, I can get you one of those, but you have to follow me. So he brings us to a rock shed, and he gives her a desert rose, right? And one of my other friends was like, man, like the priest who made this grotto had these rocks that he made. I forget what they're called, but they're essentially like man-made rocks made of glass and crayons, right? And the guy was like, yeah, I tried to make those a while ago. I just about set my house on fire when I did that, but my mom wasn't too happy because he was a kid when he did that. But they're really hard to make. She was like, man, why don't they sell those at the gift shop? And he was like, well, they're really hard to make. She was like, man, I would buy one of those. And he pulls out a rock from his pocket, and he was like, well, I can get you one, but I want to break it into a smaller piece because like the only rocks that we have of these kind are the ones that Father made. So he goes and he breaks off a chunk and he gives it to her. And, so we're in this rock shed with all these extra rocks. And my friend goes again, she goes, oh, the petrified wood rocks? Like, how do you get one of those? Like, I would really like one of those. Do you have any extras? And he was like, oh yeah, but you gotta follow me to my house. So now we've seen 2 sheds just filled with rocks. And we follow this man to his house, right? And we're there, and he goes to the side, he pulls out a rock, right? And I'm seeing him pull out a rock like this big, okay? And he pulls out this rock, and he's like, yeah, this is the rock I'm talking about. This is the rock I'm gonna give her. And then like, she's like looking at something else while he's showing me this rock, and then he puts it behind his back, and he's like so excited to give her this huge rock, right? And he gives her this petrified wood from like a state park in California that, they retrieved it before it was illegal to do so. So he gives her this petrified wood rock, and she takes it, and then we talk for a while, and he tells us his life story, which was pretty cool. He tells us about this truck that he got. Like, apparently the town, like, his old truck died, and the town kind of pulled funds. They did fundraisers, and they got him a truck, right? And they gifted it to him. The whole town of West Bend, Iowa gave this man his truck, right? And that was pretty cool. So anyway, we talked to him, we learned about him, we learned about the priest, Father something, and he's like having a ball, and my friend is really enjoying talking about rocks with this man, and they're just like going back and forth about rocks. It was really cool. And then we're about ready to go. We get into the car to leave, to drive back 3 hours, and apparently this guy really likes us now, because as we're sitting in the car, he runs up and he's like, this rock keeps falling out of my pocket. It must be for her. Give her this rock. And he gives me the rock to give to her, right? And then we're still sitting in the car, setting up the GPS to get ready to go back. And he comes back and he goes, here, it's not Halloween anymore, but that was yesterday, so we're still in the Halloween season. Here, take this candy. Happy Halloween. Please give it to her. You need it for the trip. And we're like, thank you, sir. But it was just really cool because, first of all, we made an impact on this man. This man made an impact on us. And we also got kind of like, not only did we get the official tour, but we got the like unofficial, like everything you don't see at the grotto tour, where you see all the extra rocks and the rock sheds and the maintenance closet where the man chipped off a piece of the rock to give to my friend. And it's just really cool, like how small this world is. And like when you do things in charity, like when you get to know those around you, even if they seem like insignificant people, like you get to know how beautiful and how wonderful they are, and like the things that they're passionate about. It's like really beautiful to see how that is like what God made you for, right? So this man is passionate about these rocks, about this grotto, right? About Jesus and Mary. Like really, Grotto Gary, that's what we call him. His name is Gary, but we call him Grotto Gary. Like his passions are Jesus, Mary, and rocks, right? And it's so evident how him living out those passions brings about his sanctification. It was so good. So Grotto Gary, I think you're going to be a saint one day. You're pretty close to being there already. And, you know, kind of, just get to know about people's passions. Like, learn about them, learn what they love, learn what they like. And in that, you're going to see just how beautiful and how good they are and what God has made them to do and to be. And it's like, it reminds me of a quote of Pope St. John Paul II. No, it's not Pope St. John Paul II. I love that guy though. St. Catherine of Siena. If you are who you were made to be, you will set the world on fire, right? And this man is made to be Grotto Gary. He is made to be the man fixing grotto for the rest of his life, probably teaching other people how to fix the grotto, maintaining it, and bringing joy to unsuspecting pilgrims who go and spontaneously visit the grotto, or maybe less spontaneously, and they just get there with a plan to be there. Anyway, being who you were made to be is really a joy-filled thing. Be who you were made to be.